Hey, what's up, sixth graders? Welcome back to my YouTube channel with all my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. I'm working on my millions of followers. So we are here at example 2, chapter 6.4, and now it's going to get a little trickier where it says compare 2 and the absolute value of -5. Remember, compare is less than, greater than. So what's greater? 2 or the absolute value of -5? Well, I'm going to graph 2 on a number line, and the absolute value of -5 is 5, right? So I'm going to graph 5 on the number line, and the greater one is always to the right. So the absolute value of -5 is greater than 2. So 2 is less than. Now, if there was no absolute value here, it would be a different answer, wouldn't it? Because -5 would be over here, and 2 would be greater. So if you need to pause the video and take a look at that, you can. But remember, now we're talking about not -5 anymore. We're talking about the absolute value of -5, which is actually 5. So that is greater than 2. Okay. Take a deep breath. Compare, which means is it greater or less than, absolute value of -10 and 4.
Compare the absolute value of -10 and 4. To compare two numbers, we need to graph them on a number line. The number farthest to the right is greater. Before we can label the number line, let's find the absolute value of -10. The absolute value means the distance from 0. -10 is 10 units from 0, so the absolute value of -10 is 10. Knowing this information helps us to label our number line. Because the absolute value of -10 and 4 are both positive, we only need to label positive numbers on the number line. Go ahead and label the number line. Now we need to graph these two numbers and compare. First, let's graph the absolute value of -10. We said that the absolute value of -10 is 10. So plot a point at 10 and label that point the absolute value of -10. The other number is 4, so plot a point at 4. The absolute value of -10 is to the right of 4. This means that the absolute value of -10 is greater than 4.
There's another one, so you got to be careful. You got to figure out what the absolute value of -10 is first, which is 10, right? You don't want to end up at -10 because 4 is actually greater than -10, but not when it's in the absolute value. So be careful when you see these bars. All right, let's look at a few more here. Copy and complete the statement using less than, greater than, or equal to. So we got absolute value of -4, which is actually 4, isn't it? So 4 is going to be greater than -2. We have -5 and the absolute value of 5, which is 5. And so positive is greater than negative, so definitely this is less than 5. Absolute value of 9 and 10. Well, that's 9 and that's 10, so 9 is less than 10. 3.9 and the absolute value of -3.9. Well, absolute value means that this is actually 3.9 because it's 3.9 from 0. So these are actually equal because they're both 3.9. All right, hopefully that's not too much and you can get your head around the absolute value. Be careful and take your time, okay? We'll see you at the next one. Keep up the good work.